We see a janitor is finished with the cleaning of the floor and is about to leave. He hears a sound and goes to look at it. He finds a frightened young lady sitting on the floor and hurries to find support. However, at that point, another young lady chances upon him and advises him to run. Kyla is capturing everybody at school for the school yearbook. She sees Chris, their new English instructor, and her consideration is attracted to him. Trisha, an unmistakable young lady at school, sees Chris and accepts she can entice him in 2 days. Everybody, particularly the young ladies, is excited with their new English educator and their top of the line. Chris turns into each young lady's new pulverize very quickly. After the class, Trisha burns through no time and starts playing with Chris. On the opposite side, Kyla goes to her standard home base spot and sees Riley there. She presents herself to Riley. Riley warmly greets Kyla, and afterward she uncovers that Chris is her dad. In the wake of becoming companions, Kyla inquires as to whether she can approach her home for a review meeting, considering it to be a potential chance to be near Chris. From that point forward, we see Kyla is getting intrigued by Chris and takes more pictures of him. She gets back and finds her mom preparing to continue a date with a person. She likewise sees that her mom has purchased another dress for the date. Around evening time, Kyla dreams of Chris and delights herself. The following day, she goes to Riley's house. There she burns through no time and starts asking Riley inquiries about her dad. To respond to her, Riley uncovers that her mom was undermining Chris, which brought about a separation. What's more, they move to another spot. Then, at that point, Kyla additionally enlightens Riley concerning her dad who left her when she was only 6. Meanwhile, when Riley goes to the washroom, Kyla goes directly to Chris's room and envisions herself with him. The following day at school, Trisha is as yet attempting to utilize her appeal on Chris. She plays with him, however Chris, being old educated, doesn't get her clues. After the class, Trisha goes to Riley and becomes a close acquaintance with her. Kyla sees them together and feels desirous. She cautions Riley that Trisha is hazardous and is fixated on Chris. Kyla makes sense of that. Trisha has a background marked by playing with instructors, as she had laid down with a set of experiences. Instructor the earlier year, which made him be sub-bed by one more educator for a whole year. Sometime thereafter, Kyla calls Riley and observes that Riley is turning 18 soon. Subsequently, Kyla recommends that she ought to have a birthday festivity at her home, and Kyla will help her in social occasion, whatever number guests as could be expected under the circumstances. She then, at that point, moves the discussion to Chris and asks about his dating history. She finds Chris is dating somebody who ends up being none other than her own mom. She becomes desirous of their being at tease and undermines their date. Chris is constrained to go through the night with them since his garments get disgusting. While eating, Kyla can't to take her eyes off Chris. Be that as it may, she can't watch her mom and Chris being at tease and returns to her room. She realizes that her mom and Chris will make out. To undermine their second, Kyla lies that somebody was watching her adjustment of her room and acts frightened. She needs to be with her mom and Chris so they don't get laid. There she gains from Chris that Riley is spending time with Trisha, notwithstanding her admonition. The following morning, Chris offers to take Kyla to school as he is additionally going there in the wake of picking Riley. While they trust that Riley will come, Kyla plays with Chris and lets him know that she is an adult now and can do anything in life she needs. During their discussion, Riley goes along with them and they leave for school. At school, Kyla goes up against Riley about her going out with Trisha, notwithstanding her admonition that Trisha is utilizing her to get to her dad. In any case, Riley tells her that Trisha claims it wasn't her who had laid down with their set of experiences instructor, however Kyla herself. Kyla denies the charge and inconsiderately acts with Riley, driving her out. Afterward, Kyla goes up against Trisha and compromises her to remain away from Riley. Be that as it may, Trisha isn't irritated by her and will not withdraw. Additionally, that evening Kyla takes pictures of herself in confidential postures. The following day, when Kyla opens her storage, she finds it loaded up with the photos she required the prior night. She goes directly to Chris, who guarantees her that he will track down the individual answerable for this. Riley sees them and lets them be. From that point forward, Kyla and Riley offer to set things straight and apologize to one another. Kyla additionally uncovers that it was her who laid down with the set of experiences instructor, guaranteeing that she was being controlled. Presently we see Kyla's mom is preparing to meet Chris. Kyla analyzes Chris's telephone when he's in the latrine and finds private interesting messages from Trisha. In the wake of perusing the notes, Kyla's mom blames Chris for utilizing his understudies. Chris is then unloaded by her mom, who requests that he go. Kyla, then again, is savoring the circumstance since her mom is at long last out of her way. She then, at that point, makes a beeline for Chris, who is sitting in his truck, contemplating what truly occurred. Kyla enters and starts to allure Chris. She succeeds in alluring him and kisses him enthusiastically. Chris can't avoid her any longer and surrenders. Kyla at long last got what she needed and she is exceptionally cheerful. The fact that it was Kyla who makes it then, at that point, uncovered, sent those messages to Chris, acting like Trisha. The following day at school, Chris is totally lost. In class, Trisha is as yet attempting to play with Chris, however Kyla intrudes on her. Meanwhile, the police show up at the class and remove Trisha as they find the telephone utilized to message Chris those messages as well as the photos of Kyla from the storage. Sometime thereafter, Kyla shows up for the party and gives her a few presents. She then, at that point, heads directly to Chris's room and starts tempting him. Chris is as yet attempting to oppose Kyla's advances, be that as it may, in the long run surrenders, and they begin having intercourse. As they are going to engage in sexual relations, Riley strolls in and sees them together. She is disturbed by the scene and takes off. Chris attempts to stop her, however. It's past the point of no return, and pressing forward is the only option. Chris chooses to pursue her, however is come by Kyla who deceives him that Riley is dependent on liquor. He disregards her and heads out to track down Riley. The following morning, Riley enlightens Kyla's mom concerning all that happened the previous evening. At school, Chris attempts to offer to set things straight with Riley, however she isn't in that frame of mind. After the class, Kyla's mom goes up against Chris and slaps him. She removes Kyla and leaves. Kyla tells her mom that she is of legitimate age and she can cherish anybody she needs, and even cases that she and Chris are in affection. Riley goes up against Chris and needs to know why he made it happen. Chris apologizes to Riley for all that and tells her that he won't see Kyla any longer. Riley at long last excuses him. The following day, Kyla calls Trisha and requests to meet her before school. At the point when Trisha shows up, Kyla owns up to outlining her and starts hitting herself. She breaks her fingers to outline Trisha. As Riley and Chris show up, Kyla weeps for help, guaranteeing Trisha went after her. From that point forward, Trisha is captured by the police and Kyla goes to the emergency clinic. Riley and Chris go to the emergency clinic, where Riley lets Kyla know that her relationship with her dad is finished. Kyla seems to concur. She then, at that point, requests that Riley assume control over her yearbook responsibilities regarding a b-ball game that evening, since her hand is harmed, to which Riley acknowledges. Kyla additionally inquires as to whether she would be able converse with her dad once and for all and bid farewell. After Riley leaves, Kyla lets Chris know that with Trisha out of the picture, they can at long last be together. Be that as it may, Chris denies her, telling her their relationship is finished and that she ought to let him be. Kyla is totally fixated on Chris and needs to additionally develop her relationship with him. Kyla pronounces she won't ever leave him and reminds him he should see her consistently in class. Along these lines, Chris chooses to leave his place of employment to move away from her and passes on to accumulate his possessions from the study hall. Kyla takes a surgical blade from the emergency clinic and escapes. At the school, Kyla goes up against Riley and tells her that only one of them can be a major part of Chris's life, furthermore, wounds Riley in the stomach. She then, at that point, heads to Chris's group. She holds the surgical blade to his throat, letting him know they are intended to be together. From that point forward, Kyla uncovers that she was the person who controlled her past instructor, not the inverse. Riley is as yet alive and attempts to find support. Chris figures out how to push Kyla off of him. Be that as it may, Kyla assaults Chris, who then, at that point, hits his head on the table and gets oblivious. A janitor hears the disturbance and coincidentally finds Kyla, who professes to be harmed and requests that he find support. As the janitor hurries to track down help, Riley cautions him to run, however Kyla gets him and kills him. Subsequently, the two get into a fight, with Riley in the long run overcoming Kyla. Riley and Kyla are both out of control in various Ambulances by the police. In any case, Riley gets stunned by the way that Kyla is as yet alive. Months after the fact, Chris and Riley have filmed to another spot and Chris is prepared to take up another instructing work while Riley is amped up for her most memorable day of school. Be that as it may, as Riley is driving off to school we see a hooded figure who we can expect to be Kyla rise up out of stowing away. It is still to imply that she fanatically following Chris. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more.